Hello and welcome to the DFS_PhD show for today. It's November 2nd, but this is an evergreen episode on Madden Sims. Remember that you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Might as well be us. And when it's Madden Sims, it probably is us. I win a lot of money on Madden Sims, and I highly recommend that you play it too, just because there's overlay. There's overlay in all of the satellites. That's why you should do it. Now, the problem is SaberSim does not do projections for it. I think there are some optimizers that do, but I beat those guys pretty regularly, so I don't think it matters that much. And particularly, it won't matter whenever there's a new season of Madden. And you can find out if there's a new season of Madden by Googling the Madden Streams info page. And then you go to the DraftKings Network page, and you check to make sure, yes, this was updated recently. And we have no news. Here, there will be news about when the new edition of Madden will be coming. It has been more than a year now, a year and a month now. So hopefully we will be getting to it eventually during the season. It's possible it's just going to end. But the prize pools and stuff have continually been fluctuating. Like they occasionally will have $2,000 or $10,000 up top still. So I don't know. I don't really get the feeling they're phasing them out. I think they still make enough rake to keep on playing these. But for each team, there's a bunch of different things. We'll talk about them. I'm not going to go over exactly all the different parts of each player, but there are X factors and there are superstar things. So like, let's go over one team like Buffalo, just because they're at the top. And you've got third down back. You want somebody who's third down back and power back is the same back if it's the RB1. Otherwise, you're going to get vulturing at the goal line in power I formations. And then slot wide receiver, McKenzie, probably only going to be out there for 3 wide sets. Player speed, not that important. Top players is important, but most important, X factors. It used to be more important when they were, I don't think any of these are super, yeah. So what are their traits, etc. These used to be more important, but like rack them up, Stephon Diggs, wins rack catches. So like, it catches a lot of contested things. Yeah, it's just know your superstar factors at the beginning of the season, particularly if there's like a new thing or whatever in the game. I don't really pay attention to any of these particular factors for any of these players, since I just chose Buffalo at random. But you get my general point. For whatever, when you're getting used to the game, you need to understand whether you have a split back situation on this page with the power back and third down back. And then you can go to the depth chart at the bottom to make sure, okay, Singletary's the 1, James Cook's the 2, never going to be used because Zach Moss was the power back, right? So even though technically the other guy's the RB2 and so you might have some pricing errors at the beginning of the season as well, because people that used to be unplayable like James Cook become James Cook now, stuff like that. So keep an eye out for that. But just on a random day, here's how I build my Madden Classic lineup. It starts in 50 minutes. So we've got a 3-game slate today. It's got Minnesota, Jacksonville, Dallas Jets, Denver and Tennessee. So you can build starting from defenses generally late in the year, and you'll see who are the good and bad defenses, etc. Other things is there a running quarterback like Lamar in this version of Madden is just such a sieve because he runs all the time, but he doesn't have the X factor to back it up like they really need to build into the game. So he fumbles all the time. And you can pick up like half the time, there'll be a defensive recovery for a touchdown. But we don't really have any rushing quarterbacks here. And it's mostly a dart throw with these fantasy points per game. I mean, Minnesota against Jacksonville seems kind of tasty. Plop that in there. Then you could pop a correlated running back if you want to. That still works in the Sims like it does in real life. If Minnesota has a big lead, they're not going to throw a bunch to Justin Jefferson. They're probably going to run it down their throats. Derrick Henry is just as much of a beast in the game as he is in real life. But still 50-50. I'm not going to have him in the other lineup just because he's priced appropriately at this point in the season. Quarterback, I don't generally pay up for quarterbacks. I've had my most success paying down. I also do like Zach Wilson in this environment. He's good in the video game, so I'll pop him in there. I'll pop him with Corey Davis and either Moore or what's he called? Uzuma. Yeah, Uzuma at 3,600 is easily the call. And then you run it back with like CD. So I want this to be a shootout, so CD's got to get his in a shootout. And then you've got 5,700 a player. You can choose. I'm not going to build out the entire thing on the stream because that I don't know, this might already be past DraftKings terms and conditions, but 5,700 a player is way more than enough to fill it out with a conservative build, where you go with Zeke maybe, but that maybe Zeke and Carter both seem questionably correlated with our current situation. So maybe I go, I don't know, Sutton and somebody else, Woods, build a mini stack. Yeah, not sure what I'd do here, but something like that is how I would probably get started. Now, another way to get started would be, so what was our other cheap quarterback, which was kind of, so another cheap quarterback, for instance, on this slate. And yeah, like what other running back could run all over somebody? At these prices, probably Zeke could get there. And then we fade the mega price on Henry and hope he doesn't kill us, which he probably gets 15 anyway, but maybe it doesn't kill us. And then Russ Bus is pretty good in the video game, but I think in this situation with Dalvin Cook, I'll probably go. Dalvin's mega underpriced on this slate, so I'll just go T-Law, and then I'll say, hey, what if we do get this weird Justin Jefferson and Cook negative correlation that nonetheless they both get there a lot anyway. Jacksonville and Kirk, or do I want to go Zay Jones? Maybe it's a Zay day, or do I want to go Kirk, or do I want to go? Well, oh, Ingram. I want to go Ingram first of all, and then I want to go. So I do build out stacks, and you can see multiple runbacks because in Madden, in this particular version of Madden, where the overtime rules are such that if you score a touchdown, the other team gets a chance to score a touchdown. And in that environment, runbacks, I think, are a little bit more likely than they are in the current game environment where that doesn't occur anymore in overtime. So I mean, people also factor in their chances to win, and so they go for it more often than they otherwise would. So you want to do a little bit more game stacking, I think, in this than you would normally, because these games, like, it's pretty rare for you to see a full stomp in these games, whereas in real life, you see 35-0, they pull the starters just as often as you see like 35-35 or whatever. But, it's pretty rare in each case. That's what I'm trying to say. Not that that happens all the time in both cases. Anyway, so it's a small slate too. Like it's 3 games, so don't worry about having a lot of one game. That's totally fine. That's how you win small slates. But yeah, that's more or less all I got for how you build a Madden Sims lineup. I don't have projections aside from fantasy points per game here and the Madden info page stuff, but I rely on the overlay, which is massive. Like, let's go to these contests right now. I'll just oh no, it's fine to leave. Yeah, I'll be able to recreate these on my phone in 5 minutes in a second. But yeah, let's look at the overlay by contest type. Oh gosh, these are all my upcoming ones. Love possible winnings. That's always useful. But yeah, so for the satellite to the $20 millionaire, 90 out of 137, that starts in 47 minutes. It's going to be an easy 40% EV. So join me in there. There's a bunch of other ones. There used to be more. So often they'll put UFC satellites in here. They'll put maybe some soccer satellites in here. Anyway, yeah. Remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win those Madden Sims as long as they're running them. And it might as well be us.